It looks very tense.
I'm very tense?
Yeah.
Trust me, you have not seen tense from
Okay.
me at all. This is comical for me, like very comical.
When someone says that, you already know they are in their feelings. During their first time meeting, Bilal goes head to head with Shaeeda's best friend Utris. In this awkward back and forth that felt like two high school valedictorians having a petty argument.
I'm smarter than you.
But I don't think we should be so presumptuous.
Sounds like you're, what's the word they say in London?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
What's the word is it? Oh, nosy.
Yeah, things get pretty tense, and might I say, a tad bit weird.
Like even your energy right now. Like
What
how you
about my
looking?
energy now?
How you looking?
How am I looking?
It's very, just different.
We'll get into what led to that ping-pong war of words, and I can't wait to hear your take on it all.
He's making me lose my appetite, to be honest, hon.
Well, you can lose your appetite.
I'm trying to compose myself. Just give me a second.
Whew, that's that type of heated where you're looking at the menu but can't read a thing. All you see is red. Let's get into it. Hey 90 Day Fans fam, it's Malicia. Whew, a lot went down this episode. Before we get into Shaeeda and Bilal, I need to update you on Usman and Kim and Michael and Angela. First, let's start with Usman. His mom is looking like, why this boy got me out here on camera? He and his mom go to meet the young woman she wants him to marry this episode. And at first, it was crickets between Usman and his potential wife. But then he started spitting game.
To so ne abokan in takara na.
Babu.
Yawa, ai ba zai ba a ce babu wani saurayinki ko kuma babu wani wanda ke ce yana so.
Okay, Usman.
Kuma da ina tunanin ma ina zuwa kawai zan ganki kawai in ce kai da kuma na ga kina da kyau.
This young woman, whose name is Farida, is 18, and she says she's heard of Usman before, she's listened to his music, and she's, quote, excited to marry him. But halfway through their conversation, Usman did something that was very commendable. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect it from him. He told Farida about Kim. He didn't say her name directly, but he said he's in a relationship with a woman who can't give him children. Usman then goes on to ask her if she's willing to be his second wife and allow him to marry Kim first. And Farida said no.
Gaskiya.
Surely no. Although that's not exactly what Usman wanted to hear, he asked her for her number so they can continue to talk and get to know one another. Now, after that little meet and greet, Usman tells his mom it went well, but he's in love with Kim. Fast forward, it's Usman and Kim's last day in his hometown, and Usman's brother calls him saying that his mom wants to talk. Once they all sit down, his brother pulls out a contract for Kim to sign.
Either Usman or Kimberly have no right to anyone's properties or money unless willingly. If the couple decides to move to the United States of America, Kimberly must allow Usman to visit his family in Nigeria every quarter. Kimberly must allow Usman to marry a young lady in the future to enable her to have children.
Yep, this contract is Usman's mom giving him and Kim her blessing.
I mean,
Kim can now be the first wife. I don't know whether to be happy for her or what.
Is this the life you imagine for yourself, or?
Hell no. Hell no.
I think sometimes, because I'm learning myself in relationships, sometimes we hold on to stuff because it's comfortable and we like the idea of it, but it's really not what we want, you know?
Mm-hmm. I love Usman enough to let this happen. I love him enough to let it happen. I have learned that I have to pick my battles.
This wedding is gonna be interesting. I wonder will Kim's son Jamal show up? He loves his mama, I'm sure he will, but you never know. All right, moving on. I'm not gonna get too much into Michael and Angela. Just know she finally got him to delete his Instagram after all of this.
I want you to take that Instagram down and keep it down.
I am not taking it down, and that is it.
You bitch. What me no bitch? What your ass up. You and your goddamn money, bitch. Do you see my pay?
Remember, the main reason Angela flew to Nigeria and popped up on Michael unannounced is because he wouldn't take down his Instagram. So, I guess it's mission accomplished for her.
I've learned to understand with my wife, Angie. I just have to pick my battle. But nevertheless, I want my voice to be heard. I need to do something to put my foot down, because if I don't stand up for myself now, Angela is gonna control everything, even when I get to the state. It's gonna be hell.
Yet you continue to walk toward the fiery gates, Michael. Okay, let's get into Shaeeda and Bilal. These two have been married for a few months now, and aside from launching her yoga business in Kansas City, their biggest issue on the table is that Shaeeda is ready to have a baby and Bilal is not. But according to Shaeeda's doctor, at the age of 37, she doesn't have much time to wait. So if they want to have a baby, they need to start trying now. In the meantime, Shaeeda and Bilal are knocking something else off of her bucket list. They take a trip to New York City, one of Shaeeda's dream destinations.
Coming out of the airport, and it's
loud. Right?
it's very loud.
Loud. Love the smell.
The scent is like a posy. In the Caribbean, we call it a posy.
What's a posy?
It smells like a posy.
What's that?
As a place we store urine. Yeah. I guess that's part of the experience, is it?
It is.
Okay.
That was cute. While they're in the city that never sleeps, they also plan to meet up with Shaeeda's best friend, Utris, who is in town from London. Bilal will be meeting her for the first time.
I'm excited to see Utris tonight. I can't wait for you to meet her.
Yep.
Bilal in that, yep. That is his go-to. He's saying so much by saying so little.
Yep. I can't wait too.
Now that is hard to believe, Bilal.
I think this trip will be really good. Just it's a really good time for us to get away, kind of go on a little adventure, you know, have some romantic times, just me and you.
I'm hoping that when I leave this trip, inshallah, that I'm pregnant. Like, I hope that I could have some news. Like, the doctor told us to try, so we could at least see if something happens, you know?
Want to have some fun? Or you want to, like, bring baggage with you?
So, something I'm learning right now is the practice of non-attachment. Some of you might be familiar with it, but I feel like it could help in Shaeeda's case. Because unfortunately, this approach,
I'm hoping that when I leave this trip, inshallah, that I'm pregnant.
as we can see, is just not working. Without going too much into it, from what I've grasped so far, practicing non-attachment is about allowing someone to be how they are without trying to change them. It's allowing a situation to be how it is, even if it's different from what you want it to be. As long as you're not in danger, let's be clear. Essentially, non-attachment is about giving yourself some space to loosen your grip on the things that you desire, and giving yourself permission to be happy by focusing on what you have instead of focusing so much on what you don't. Now, I know Shaeeda is racing against time, which can cause some anxiety, but maybe giving herself a few weeks to practice just allowing what is can take some of the pressure off of their romance. And boop, one day she gets Bilal in the mood and it's about making love and not making a baby, and the baby happens. It's worth a try. You'd be surprised at the miracles that take place when you stop stressing and focusing so hard on something. Things tend to fall into place.
Flower for the lady. There you go.
All right, let's get back to the show. Bilal is suited and booted and Shaeeda is glowing as they hit the streets of New York City.
Wow, babe, it's perfect.
You like it?
I love it.
Everybody singing, dancing.
Shaeeda did tell us that Bilal is romantic. I bet she feels like a princess. Better yet, a queen.
This is like the pinnacle of romance, the epitome of romance. Bilal, I just don't want this day to end. Like, I have the perfect rose, the perfect guy.
The who?
The perfect guy.
Nice. I thought I heard you say that.
We're in Times Square, I'm with you, we're gonna see Utris.
Bilal gets nervous or something when he hears Utris' name. Look at his face.
We're in Times Square, I'm with you, we're gonna see Utris, and it will be us doing grown people business in bed.
I'm high five up top.
that will produce something called a baby?
Let's go meet Utris.
That good old non-attachment can turn that pretty frown upside down.
We're in New York City, and so many things to see. We're in the heart of everything. For Shy, she's still focused on one thing, and she thinks that we're gonna make this trip about making a baby, which is not the case. I hope dinner with Utris will just take her mind off of, the baby thing, even if just for a little while.
Well, Bilal's wish came true because instead of Shaeeda worrying about the baby, she was worried about him and Utris getting along.
Is this your friend here?
Oh my God. You start to feel the tension between Bilal and Utris build seconds after they meet.
Bilal.
Bilal, pleasure to meet you.
Best friend Utris.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you. Utris, I've heard a lot about you.
I'm sure. Hopefully good things.
Oh, yeah. See about that.
Utris then goes on to tell the camera her main concern about Shaeeda's relationship with Bilal.
Shaeeda's never been married before, so she's coming from like a very innocent place into someone's life, and I really kind of want to make sure he understands her background, where she's coming from, and what she needs right now being in America here with him.
Before we go any further, I'm curious. Do you already think Utris is overstepping boundaries, or do you think she's just being a good best friend? Let me know.
So Utris, what do you think about my husband?
Well, it's a bit early still. I just have to say.
Okay, all right.
Consider that you married her without me meeting you first. I still haven't forgiven you for that.
That's an interesting comment.
Wow, Bilal is on guard. And turns out, while I thought Utris was kind of joking,
Consider that you married her without me meeting you first. I still haven't forgiven you for that.
She wasn't.
Normally, I always introduce her to my friends, like my significant other and stuff like that. She observes us and stuff like that. So that's why I'm saying I need to have that one-to-one with you, find out where you're about and stuff like that, what you're about and what you think of my best friend. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about having a conversation? How do you feel about having a conversation?
I'm fine with having a conversation with you.
Ooh, Bilal was doing that salesman thing Patrick was talking about.
He is an amazing salesman. You know what to say, when to say, you know how when you say something, how that person's gonna react. You know how to drop your tone, you know how to get people engaged.
Now, I still don't think it's fair to say he does it in every situation, but the power move was pretty clear here.
How do you feel about having a conversation?
I'm fine with having a conversation with you.
Really?
I want to know how you feel about me. Asking you questions about your relationship and your marriage with my friend.
At least she's asking.
How you feel about me. Asking you questions about your relationship and your marriage with my friend.
Well.
Why are you hesitating?
Okay, this is getting weird.
Well, sometimes a relationship is between usually two individuals. So sometimes there are certain things you may not want to discuss with everybody who's not in that.
This is not about me, it's about you and, marriage with my friends.
Exactly, it's about us. Not really about you.
Oh, Utris felt that shade run through her body. It's about to go south, as you can see, based off Utris's face.
Bilal, relax.
You want me to relax?
Yeah, let's relax.
I was very relaxed. Cause you looked like you was really getting angry.
I was actually.
Yeah.
Because I think you're being really mean and really rude.
I was answering the questions. Wasn't I?
Yeah. You look very tense.
I'm very tense?
Yeah.
Trust me, you have not seen tense from me at all.
Bilal and Utris came in with the wrong energy, in my opinion. Utris definitely came in strong, but it would have been nice to see Bilal be the bigger person. By placing his ego to the side and choosing not to meet Utris's intensity. At the end of the day, I think she's trying to be a good friend. She doesn't have the best approach or attitude, but she clearly has concerns about Bilal and Shaeeda's relationship out of love for Shaeeda. And that shouldn't be something Bilal takes personally.
Are you okay?
I'm great.
Yeah.
This is comical for me, like very comical.
But I don't think we should be so presumptuous.
Oh, big word. Bilal, what are you coming back with?
Sounds like you're, what's the word they say in London?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
What's the word is it? Oh, nosy.
Nosy?
That's it, yeah.
Really? You think
Is that
that's
it?
naughty?
Ooh, I didn't say that, but you said it. That's interesting.
I cannot wait to see how y'all feel about this back and forth.
We're only 10 minutes into the conversation and Bilal is making me feel uncomfortable. I don't know what I would have done.
Utris goes on to say that she's worried Shaeeda is looking over some of Bilal's personality traits that may be a problem in the future. Which is interesting, because earlier in the episode, Shaeeda said Utris and Bilal have very similar personalities.
Bilal and Utris, they are both strong alpha personalities.
So yeah.
Do you think basically I'm putting my nose where it's not meant to be about my best friend?
About your best friend?
Mm-hmm. So I can ask you anything I want.
Down.
No. In my opinion, just because you're her best friend does not mean you can ask anything you want. We're grown. And Shaeeda and Bilal are married. They are already husband and wife. That should be respected.
I sit down with her father. I sit down with her mother. All of her sisters.
But you didn't sit down with me.
Yeah.
Her best friend.
She's really upset about that.
Here's the thing.
Anybody want crackers?
If I
crackers, it's really good.
I would say something if I intend on saying it.
You sound like you've been very evasive. That you have things you don't want me to ask you. You feel a bit uncomfortable because you don't know where I'm gonna go with the conversation.
Sounds like a good read. I'm sure the last thing Bilal wants to talk about with Utris is him and Shaeeda having a baby. And with that being one of Shaeeda's main concerns, I'm sure as her best friend, Utris planned on bringing it up.
I'm a very confident person.
Really?
So.
Do you not have anything to hide?
Absolutely not.
Okay, good.
How much more awkward can this get?
Shaeeda, what did I say that gave your husband such bad energy?
I can't remember what you said, like, honestly talking.
It's funny because your demeanor, you know, your energy, like even your energy right now. Like
What
how you
about my
looking?
energy now?
How you looking?
How am I looking?
It's very, just different.
Great way to put it. It is different.
It was more so like, who's this guy? You know, Not to even like, I'm sure that she's probably picked out a really good guy.
Oh, so
Let me
you
get a
assumed
chance.
that I'm thinking she didn't pick us a good guy?
Well, I didn't assume anything. You said it out of your mouth.
Very defensive, Shaeeda.
Bilal tells Shaeeda that if Utris is truly her best friend, Utris will know all of the wonderful things he does for her.
Which you should be happy.
I beg your pardon? Are you saying basically that because you do things for her, then it's like I should be thankful because it's if nobody else would have done it for her?
Now, I understand how that rubbed her the wrong way. Instead of Bilal talking about what he does for Shaeeda, I don't see why he didn't open up and talk about how he feels about Shaeeda. That being said, Utris is a little bit too invested in Shaeeda and Bilal's relationship for me. I'm all for ride or die friends, but this is just a bit too much. I don't know if Utris feels like she has to take care of Shaeeda or what, but let's bring the intensity level down. It makes it seem as if there's something deeper going on.
I'm happy for my people that I love. I literally just
Listen,
said
babe, what are you ordering?
Yeah.
Utris, what are you ordering? Because I wanna go ahead and order.
He's making me lose my appetite, to be honest, hon.
Well, you can lose your appetite.
I'm trying to compose myself. Just give me a second.
This became way too dramatic. The episode ends with Utris telling the cameras that Bilal comes off as entitled.
It's not as if basically you've given her your last kidney. Do you know what I mean?
And next week, Bilal and Utris meet one-on-one, and she brings up him and Shaeeda having a baby.
What if Shaeeda was to tell you that she's pregnant in 6 months' time?
Alhamdulillah, all praise be to God.
I'm thinking, Shaeeda, she could forget to take her birth control pills. Problem solved.
If she's still taking them, that is an approach. Friends, you gotta love them. You do. All right, 90 Day Fans fam, make sure you stick with ET because we are covering it all. I will see you next time.